Welcome to the Food and Activity for a Healthy Pregnancy training for practitioners. My name is Helen Cragg, Advanced Health Improvement Specialist, Maternity and Infants. The aims of the training session are to guide you through delivering the workshop for overweight pregnant women and equip you with the skills to confidently have conversations with pregnant women about food and activity for a healthy pregnancy. The training ethos does not focus on giving advice, it focuses on supporting you to help pregnant women to think about the topics covered, reflect on what it means to them, identify changes they can make and how they will achieve them. The delivery focuses on the quality of conversations that you have with these groups of women. Empowerment using a non-judgmental approach is pivotal to the aims of this training. So these are the objectives for today's session. So it's to enhance knowledge, skills and confidence about food and activity for a healthy pregnancy, to identify the key food and activity messages which support a healthy pregnancy, to practice the conversations that you'll be having with pregnant women, and to introduce some of the resources. So let's have a look at some of the background to this training. Healthy mothers are more likely to have healthy babies. Being a healthy weight reduces the risk of disease across the life course. Key nutrition behaviours include being a healthy weight, eating a balanced diet and taking recommended supplements. There's increasing evidence about the impact on long-term health to a baby developing in a nutritionally challenged environment in utero. Growth and development processes can be disturbed if the supply of energy and nutrients are not consistent or poor. The impact on long-term health to baby is risk of chronic disease, including type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome and cardiovascular disease. The in utero environment exposes the developing fetus to flavours from the mother's diet via the amniotic fluid, preparing them for tastes they will experience in the future when solid food is introduced. Before and during pregnancy are critical times nutritionally in the short and long term for the developing baby. Specific nutritional concerns for women of childbearing age and those who are pregnant include below the recommended intakes of dietary fibre, oily fish, fruit and vegetables, low-level supplement use of folic acid and vitamin D. For children, the high levels of constipation and sugar consumption are also concerning. In order to have the best start, children need adequate nutrition. Even before they are born, their development is affected by what their mother eats and drinks. Looking at local midwife data, the percentage of mothers classified as obese in Leeds has been steadily rising year on year, with a greater percentage of mothers residing in deprived Leeds, having a BMI of over 30. There is a clear connection between poverty and poor nutrition. Weight gain during pregnancy. There are several different things that contribute to an increase in weight during pregnancy. Firstly, obviously, there's the baby. There's the placenta, the amniotic fluid, which is the water surrounding baby, growing breasts, the increased blood you need, extra fat stores, and natural fluid retention. Having a healthy lifestyle during pregnancy can help a pregnant woman feel better, gain the right amount of weight, and give their baby a great environment in which to grow and develop. They can manage their weight by eating well and staying active, which in turn can help them have a healthier pregnancy and a safer birth. There's no formal evidence-based guidance from the UK government or professional bodies on what constitutes appropriate weight gain during pregnancy. Pregnant women are advised not to diet and talk to their midwife or GP if concerned. Though pregnant women should not diet, it is an ideal time for them to reflect on their food intake and identify healthier choices that they can start. This is particularly important for women who are overweight. So the women who attend the Food and Activity for a Healthy Pregnancy workshop, or women who are overweight and are having an antenatal visit, are needing to change their behaviours to have a healthier pregnancy. The motivation to do so will need to come from them once they're armed with all the key information. Behaviour change requires people to feel that changing is important to them and they have the confidence to do so. So pushing and pulling them to change because we think it's important is unlikely to work as people just feel criticised. So what are we actually going to do as practitioners? So hopefully have conversations about food and activity for a healthy pregnancy, and then have conversations that encourage behaviour change through empathic and supportive communication using inclusive language. We're now going to look at some conversation examples and how we can improve our conversations about food and activity in pregnancy. Compare the two conversations and how does this relate to your own practice? and recognise how you can improve your own conversation style when you're talking to pregnant women about food and activity.
Can we talk about your weight today?
Yes, okay.
Do you know that by not addressing your weight during pregnancy, it could be harmful to you and your baby?
Well, I know that I am overweight and that isn't good for me, but I didn't know it could harm my baby. I now feel a bit worried, so what should I do?
Let me give you some leaflets on healthy eating, and I'd like to make a referral to one new Leeds to help you increase your activity levels. Is this okay?
Well, yes, I suppose so. Are there other things I can do?
You need to think about your diet and what you're eating, as this can affect your weight too. What is your diet like? Do you eat healthily? This is a good time to make some changes, as it will benefit you and your baby.
I try to eat healthily, but I know there are improvements that I can make. I don't eat enough fruit and vegetables, and I like to snack on sugary things. Will this harm my baby?
Being overweight can mean that there are added risks during pregnancy. For example, it increases your risk of developing gestational diabetes. You need to reduce the amount of sugary snacks that you're having and introduce more fruit and vegetables. Let's have a go at making a food diary, and we can talk about it in more detail next time we meet.
Okay, then that's fine.
So looking at this first conversation, there are mainly closed questions used in this example. The conversation's not collaborative and the practitioner does not ask permission in advance to give advice. The advice is given because of the pregnant woman feeling a sense of blame and not really knowing what to do as a result. The practitioner does not explore the woman's own narrative, values, or experience around food, activity, or weight, and the practitioner fails to support her to come up with her own solutions. The pregnant woman feels like she is going along with advice given by the professional as she feels uncomfortable and guilty that she may be causing harm to her unborn baby, and there was little reassurance offered.
Is it okay if we have a discussion about healthy weight, food, and activity today?
Yes, I suppose that's okay.
What are your thoughts on being a healthy weight during pregnancy? And are there any changes that you feel that you'd like to make?
Well, I know that I am a bit overweight and I have found it hard in the past to maintain a healthy weight and would like to increase my activity levels, but now I'm pregnant, I'm a bit unsure what I can do about it.
We don't recommend a weight loss regime when pregnant, but you have mentioned about wanting to increase your activity levels. How might you succeed in doing this, and how might we be able to support you in achieving this?
I think it would help if there were classes or groups that I could go to increase my activity levels, and where there are others wanting to achieve the same goal.
Would it be okay if I send you some information on the groups and activities that are available, and I can help you make a referral if they seem suitable to your needs?
Yes, that would be great, thank you.
Are there any other things you've tried in the past to help you increase your activity levels? And how did these help?
I used to walk to drop off and collect my older son who was in primary school, and this helped me feel more active, but since I've been pregnant again, I've been too tired.
It sounds like feeling tired is possibly a barrier to being a bit more active. Are there any other barriers, do you think? And how might we help you to overcome them? What has helped in the past if you've been feeling tired?
Sometimes it's the getting started and motivating myself to walk when I am tired. When I get going, it actually helps and the fresh air perks me up a little.
That sounds understandable. Would you like some support to increase your motivation so that you can maybe introduce some walking on some of the days?
That sounds great, thank you.
If it's okay with you, we'll make an appointment to meet again and we can formulate a plan together.
That sounds really good. Can this be quite soon as I'm keen to get started?
I will call you to discuss a date and time as soon as I'm back in the office. Is this okay?
Yes, thank you very much.
So for this second example, this conversation is far more inclusive and utilises open questions to establish the pregnant woman's understanding and narrative around weight and activity. It also tries to establish if there are any indication of change talk without focusing too much on giving advice. It supports the woman to make her own choices using a non-judgemental and empathic approach. The practitioner also opens up the conversation by asking if they could talk about healthy weight, food and activity in pregnancy as a general topic rather than homing in on the individual's weight, which again helps to reduce feelings of blame or shame. There was a collaborative approach which takes account of the woman's knowledge of what has worked or not worked in the past and what is achievable and not achievable. The practitioner was able to guide the woman to come to her own solutions without her feeling guilty about why she sometimes struggles to be active. We can promote the benefits of being physically active to pregnant women without imposing guilt or feelings of blame. Some of the examples that we can use to talk about the benefits of being physically active on the mother is about feeling good as your body changes, promoting muscle tone and stamina and strength, reducing leg and back pain, constipation, swelling and bloating, for example, promoting blood circulation and possibly help prevent varicose veins, help your posture and balance, which is very important as your centre of gravity shifts. It helps to sleep better, manage stress and reduce the risk of preeclampsia and gestational diabetes, and also preparing your body for labour and childbirth. We can also have conversations about the benefits of being physically active to baby, but again being careful not to inflict feelings of guilt, but being encouraging and empowering in how we relay this. Babies whose mothers exercise during pregnancy experience a number of developmental boosts which play a part in them being healthier and more physically active later in life, and which also reduces the risk of childhood obesity. It is also important to include key messages on vitamin D and folic acid supplementation during pregnancy. Watch this short video on vitamin D supplementation.
Today we're talking about vitamin D. Around 1 in 5 people in the UK have low levels of vitamin D, especially older adults, pregnant and breastfeeding people, infants and people with darker skin. Vitamin D helps keep people's bones, teeth and muscles healthy, as well as impacting mental health and immune systems, so make sure we are all getting enough, especially during the autumn and winter. People who are 10 weeks pregnant or have at least one child under 4 may be entitled to financial support to buy vitamin D supplements through the Healthy Start scheme. More information is available at www.healthystart.nhs.uk. For more information, please visit the Public Health Resource Centre at www.leeds.gov.uk/PHRC or call 0113 378 6200.
Try to include these messages when talking to women about food and nutrition in pregnancy. 2 of the key messages coming from this training are that pregnant women are advised not to diet and to talk to their GP or midwife if they're concerned. And though pregnant women should not diet, it is an ideal time to reflect on their food intake and identify healthier choices that they can start. These are some portion sizes infographics that can be used to initiate conversations about portion sizes and food intake. They can be helpful to support women to visualise what is a healthy portion size and to understand food constituents, for example. So here are some top facilitation tips. Work in partnership with pregnant women, seeking their ideas, and listen attentively and actively. Remember that most of the way we communicate is non-verbal, so think about the tone of your voice, your facial expression and your body language. Accept challenges calmly and non-defensively, and avoid a teaching style and the advice trap. Support, encourage and praise as often as possible, and hold the belief that everyone is doing the best they know how to, and that everyone can learn and change. So what is our call to action? So it's about introducing these conversations at your next antenatal visit with a woman who's identified as being overweight with a BMI of over 30 at the start of pregnancy. But it's also important about having these conversations at preconception stage, so making every contact count. There are some resources that can be accessed via a link in the description. These resources can be downloaded and used for facilitating group sessions with women or to support you in having these conversations with women during their antenatal visits. There are additional links which you can signpost women to, as well as information on healthy eating, vitamin D, local support and digital downloads such as the Baby Buddy app. Thank you for participating in this training. I hope you found it useful in enabling you to improve your conversations with women about food and activity in pregnancy.